Chapter 11, Practical Applications of Immunology. Variolation. Variolation was the inoculation of smallpox into skin during the 18th century. Edward Jenner gave the first vaccine by demonstrating that inoculation with cowpox material provides humans with immunity to smallpox. He carried out the very first vaccination. He did inoculation of cowpox virus into skin. Louis Pasteur also did vaccination with the inoculation with the rabies virus. Vaccines are injections of antigens to induce immunity. Herd immunity results when most of a population is immune to a disease. This is a graph showing you measles in the United States during the 1960s to 2010. And we'll see in the 1960s, early 1960s, there were very high cases of measles present in the population. Once the vaccine was licensed in 1964, we saw a steep decline in the number of measles cases in the United States, and it's been pretty much low pretty much all this time. There are 6 basic types of vaccines: attenuated whole agent vaccines, inactivated whole agent vaccines, toxoid, subunit vaccines, conjugated vaccines, and nucleic acid vaccines. Attenuated whole agent vaccines use living but attenuated microbes. When we say attenuated, we mean weakened microbes. Live vaccines closely mimic an actual infection. They provide lifelong immunity, especially with viruses. The advantage to having attenuated whole agent vaccines is that it doesn't usually require boosters. Disadvantage is that it involves using weakened microbes that can sometimes lead to mutations, so mutant reversal could cause danger. Attenuated microbes that are usually accumulated in long-term cultures have a danger of back mutating to a virulent form. So this is not used on immunocompromised individuals, so it's not for immunocompromised individuals. Inactivated whole agent vaccines use dead microbes that have been killed by phenol or formalin. The advantage to this, of course, is that it's safer, they're dead. The disadvantage, of course, is that it doesn't actually mimic an actual infection, and it requires a booster. So an example of an inactivated whole agent vaccine would be rabies, Salk polio, influenza vaccines, and an example of the attenuated whole agent vaccines would be MMR vaccine, measles, mumps, and rubella. Toxoid vaccines are inactivated toxins, and they require boosters every 10 years. So when was your last tetanus booster? So every 10 years you're supposed to get a tetanus shot, and as well as diphtheria. Subunit vaccines consist of antigenic fragments of a microorganism. Recombinant vaccines are subunit vaccines that are produced by genetic engineering techniques. So other microbes are programmed to produce the desired antigen. For example, hepatitis B. We insert hepatitis B into yeast, and it produces the antigenic fragments of hepatitis B. And this is, of course, a lot safer. Conjugated vaccines are combined antigens with protein. Conjugated vaccines have been developed for children with poor immune response to vaccines based on capsular polysaccharides. Conjugated vaccines combine the desired antigen with a protein that boosts the immune response. So we see this with Haemophilus influenza. Nucleic acid vaccines are DNA vaccines, and these are currently being developed. So right now, DNA vaccines, for humans, we're trying to currently develop one, and one of them is the HIV vaccine. But we currently have one DNA vaccine present, and that's West Nile for horses. So here is vaccines used to prevent bacterial infection. So please review. These are the vaccines used to prevent viral infections. And of course, we have a lot more vaccines to prevent viral infections. There's a childhood vaccine schedule, and this one is pretty old. But if you go to the cdc.gov, you'll be able to access the latest childhood vaccine schedule for children between the age of 0 to 6 and 7 to 18. Here ends Part A of Chapter